My first guest joins me in studio, Mr. Anthony Cataldo. He is the CEO of a company called Genesis Biopharma. GNBP is their stock symbol. Anthony, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Don. Thanks for having us. And it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so hence the hot pink tie. So.
Well, that's apropos because your company is basically developing autologous, or what is known as transferred from within the same body, cell therapies for the treatment of cancer. Give us a general overview of the company.
Yeah, Genesis Biopharma is, like many of the companies that you have here, we're a bulletin board company, but what we've been able to do is acquire what we call a billion-dollar asset. The technology that we have is a standard therapy actually being used at MD Anderson, Moffitt in Tampa Bay, the National Cancer Institute where the technology came from, and Sheba Hospital in Israel. And that makes us really unique and interesting in that it's already treated 500 patients over the last 8 years. This is for stage 4 melanoma patients. These are patients that have washed out on every therapy. It's a very ugly disease. They have maybe 2 months to 12 months to live. There's nothing left to treat them. And Dr. Steven Rosenberg, who in the oncology world is probably, if there's a pyramid, he's at the top of the pyramid. And he's chief of surgery for the NCI. What happened was, because they were so successful in treating patients that were really written off, that they went to the FDA and they made an attempt to try to get the therapy approved because there's a large demand for it. There's thousands of patients die every year of melanoma. Most folks know it as skin cancer. And the FDA said, look, we like the technology a lot. We do think it needs to be out there, but you need a commercial partner. So Genesis Biopharma is that. We're the commercial entity. We have the patent licenses and things like that.
I mean, we're basically talking about a serious breakthrough in the treatment of cancer, melanoma, as you know. This is an absolutely serious breakthrough, correct?
Well, it's actually, it's a cure, pretty much. Or some will say it's a cure. In Oncology Times, which is kind of the Bible in our industry, just a brief quote, kind of says it all, and this is what really piqued my interest to go out aggressively and get this. This is from Dr. Rosenberg, and it says if you look at the entire group of 93 patients, there was one of the studies, treated in 3 different trials, there were 20 complete regressions. That means, no cancer. And 19 of those are ongoing and completely free of disease beyond 3 years. Actually, it's up to about 8 years now. So I think they may well have been cured. That's quite stunning for a patient population of this sort. And that's a quote in Oncology Times. So there's very powerful data, and biotech companies are all about data. Our story isn't a drug discovery story, which most biotech companies are. Ours is an execution story. It's already being used in several of the cancer centers. It's already, like I said, these are the #1 cancer centers in the world. There's already reimbursement from insurance companies, so our job is to take it through that final phase with the FDA and get it out there commercially as a product.
Of course, medical journals, even CNN and European medical news have been all over this. Now, your product is called Contigo. Tell us about Contigo.
Well, Contigo is essentially the product that's being named as the autologous cell therapy. Currently, there's a physician IND, and in biotech language, that means the doctors can use this. But to go commercial, you have to have a commercial product. So Contigo and the products that are standard therapy is essentially you take the physician has the melanoma patient who's in trouble. They take a 2 cc, which is basically the tip of your finger, section of the tumor. They find these super T cells. They're called tumor-infiltrating lymphocytes. These cells, your body actually creates these cells to fight the cancer. The problem with cancer, and the reason it's so difficult, is cancer is really intelligent. Cancer finds a way to hide. The body doesn't know it's there. By the time the body realizes that there's a real problem, it starts creating these T cells. But your body's to deplete. The immune system's really weak. And the T cells that are really designed by your body to kill them, there's just not enough of them. So maybe they find 2,000 to 5,000 of these tumor-infiltrating lymphocytes. Rosenberg's technology, what all of the basis of his work has been, was to take those, they separate them, they put them into an environment through a biowave machine, bioreactor, and then all of a sudden create 50 to 100 billion of these cells. Now they put these cells, your own cells, back into your body, like a blood infusion. And now all of a sudden, this is the dramatic data that's happening. 50 to 72% of these patients have what's called objective response. So that means you're alive, your tumor is shrunk by at least 50%. And melanoma tumors are everywhere. They're in the brain, they're all over in your heart, you name it. So it's not just, the lump that you see. And the results have been really profound. And so that's what we're doing. And it's a huge revenue model for us. First year sales, once we get approved and out there, is $1 billion a year business. We also have the rights for the same technology, platform technology from the NIH and the NCI to use it in breast, ovarian, and colorectal, and it's already showing indications in those. So this is a really $1 billion asset, and we kind of suffer for that too because we're just a bulletin board company.
Right.
So our goal this year is to get onto the national exchange, go ahead and complete, we've been in front of the FDA on our pre-IND. We just did a press release on that this morning. There will be, hopefully, we're just down to one trial, and then we can get commercial in fairly short order. The other thing I'll say is that the advantage that the company has is pretty much everybody out there are investors in the technology already. It's the National Cancer Institute has a $4.7 billion a year budget. There's been somewhere over $300 million of paid-in capital already invested into the technology. Now, we don't show that on our balance sheet because we took it over last year. But that's still there, and so companies like us that were at the same investment threshold, like Seattle Genetics, for example, their market cap was about $720 million when they were at the same inflection point that we're at right now. Ours is 35 million right now. So it's time to start telling the story, and that's why I'm here.
Okay. Well, we're out of time. So much more I want to get into it. I know we're going to have a longer interview with you. We've initiated coverage of the company. We'll be following you very closely over the next several months. Again, Genesis Biopharma, GNBP is their stock symbol. Fascinating. Thanks for joining us.
All right. Thanks a lot, Don. Appreciate it.